My daughter's birthday party is today, and no, her father is not in. My daughter asked me again if she could call her father today on her birthday, and I told her absolutely not. This day is her day. It is his job to reach out to wish his daughter a happy birthday. As I said before, if he wanted to, he would. The crazy thing is, you will miss your daughter's birthday. You won't even call her, all because of the way you feel about me. And like I said before, my daughter is not begging for attention. She's not begging for affection. And she's not gonna beg anybody to love her. Now, she may not get this right now, but she will.
It sounds like she's begging to have a father in her life. And I guarantee you, I am 1000% sure that there is two sides to this story, 100%. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then Tej Hanley, 40% off your first order, plus a free gift. Ladies, get it for the fellas. And fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. It's a phenomenal product. Um, I always like to give credit to the content creators, regardless of whether I agree with them or not. So the link is going to be down in the description. But I'm going to just speak to the general talking point, even though she's using her own personal situation. It's always two sides to a story. Always. And it sounds like just from looking at the demeanor, just from looking at the attitude, just from the context clues about how she's describing the situation and how she prevented the daughter from being able to contact the father. Let me tell you something, man. I've coached people that have basically been in this exact same situation, and they've said, listen, I have not spoken to my parent, my mother, for years, sometimes well over a decade, depending on how old they are, because they resent the mother from what it is that they wanted to deal with as far as the father. And so we can get caught up in that petty BS and all of the emotions about how you feel about the other person. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what's best for the child. And it's already been proven that what's best for the child is to have both parents in their life. Now, what's actually best for the child is for you to have a two-parent household living together in a married situation, and that is going to yield the best results. Data, statistics show that a child that is raised in a two-parent household with both parents that is absolutely doing the thing that's in the best interest of the child, which is one of the reasons why you have to be proactive about who it is that you lay with in the first place. And I was saying this, you'll probably see a video about it tomorrow because I recorded it today. That's going to drop tomorrow morning. I was saying that, it's unfortunate that the main thing that prevents us from really being logical about who we lay down with is the fact that we want to sleep with them. And that small decision of who you sleep with, because it's so funny in culture. We'll tease each other when we coming up and in school and stuff like that about whether or not you getting some and all of that stuff. So ignorantly, not realizing that you making a grown man lifetime decision and you're being peer pressured into how you see or how you view and how you deal with the person, women or men, and all of this stuff. And y'all don't even realize that that resentment is ultimately going to be transferred into the child because the child is the one that pays for the sins of their mother and their father. And so when you see this perverse nation and you see men acting like women and women acting like men and the mindset of people that's running in the victim Olympics and can't nobody get out of the ghetto and all of this stuff, that this is a direct result. We keep talking about police relations and how people need to deal with you and get into the core root of the problem. The core root of most of the problems that we have in society is the fact that we won't divest ourselves from sleeping with people and having children with people that you ultimately are not supposed to be with in the first place, let alone the people that are having children out of wedlock. And it's crazy. It's just so insane how we are justifying bad behavior as a culture. And that's why I said that the culture is trash. Throw the whole thing away. You can't really solve for it because now you have a woman that feels compelled, and this is going to live forever, meaning that the child will be able to see this video and realize that you held that child away from their father because you resented the father, probably because he no longer wants to be with you. He never was supposed to be with you in the first place. It's a strong possibility. Strong. Not saying that this is the situation. Again, we speaking to this talking point, not necessarily the person in particular, because they didn't share that part of, that much of the details. that he probably got more than one kid, because we already know what the data and the statistics say about that also. And so now the child who needs, regardless of whether you are a girl or a boy, who needs that masculine role and that disciplined role, and the woman is trying to fill both roles, and then they trying to blame the men for not showing up for the child when they had the option to pick the person that they were supposed to sleep with in the first place. The women are now sitting there and they having a conversation about whether or not men are playing this role, and now you got people debating about somebody playing a stepfather role and trying to have a community. Man, get that out of here. That is so off. That is so whack. We not remixing. People got to pay for their sins, and the kids gonna be got more kids, and it's just a bad situation all across the board. I do not agree with the sentiment. I do not agree with how it is that she's framing this, and she's trying to make it seem like, well, this is your dad and he should have contacted you. Man, get up out of your feelings. And that girl want to talk to her daddy. That girl want to talk to her daddy. And that's why kids grow up resenting the parents. And then the parents feel like, well, I did all of this for you. No, you prevented them. You did. It's what you didn't do for them that they're going to remember. It's not about what you did, because that's the expectation. And I hate when people want credit for being a good parent or doing what they're supposed to do for their kids. That's still reasonable expectation. That kid didn't ask to be here. That's not their goal to be. Nobody asked to be born to a single parent household. And that's why I'm so thankful for my father. And it's so funny that we thankful for something that we automatically should already have. I have to be overly thankful because I'm looking at the results of most people that's sitting there not raised with their parents. And then you come out, you overly feminine, you wind up being a son husband. You raised to look at women a certain way, you resent the way that certain things happen and all that. And all of this is a direct result of what you raise up to see. And y'all think that it's based off of what you say. No, it's what they see. Your daughter don't even know how to operate around men because they don't have a father in their life, because you didn't even choose the right father for your child in the first place. And so we don't want to hold each other accountable. We just want to have grace, have grace. No, grace is for God. Grace is for God. Forgiveness is for us. Grace is for God. I can't have no grace because the only thing that I'm dealing with is the results. I gotta, these step baby daddies and these step crash dummies now got to deal with the residual effects of your decisions on a regular basis. And it's unfortunate. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's unfortunate. But this is what we got to deal with as a community. And then we then all become responsible of your bad decisions, because now you want to be bitter towards your baby daddy, which then creates an environment for your daughter to not be in the greatest possible situation in the first place. That's the realistic. That's the realistic results of the decisions that we see people being made every single day, and it's unfortunate. But I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.